Is there sound on the YouTube stream yet? Please let me know. I'm trying to get that going. Should be right. Should be okay right now. Check, check. So, yeah, I'm not sure if you're hearing me on YouTube, so let me know. Sound is okay now. Okay, good. So silly. I just had to restart the broadcasting software. All right, good. Now, are you seeing the chart? Should be. Something looks funny with that, though. Settings. Let me check that again. Broadcast. Video. No chart, huh? There we go. Should work now. Should have a chart. Got chart and sound. All right, cool. What's up, guys? I recognize these names. Mr. West. Edwin. Still doing your thing? A lot of people looks like they're still doing their thing. Okay, good. So let's see. All right. So just to review the analysis here. A lot of these pairs are going to be in uptrends that are simply good, healthy trends. No reason to look to sell. That's the majority of these here. So really looking to buy in a retracement. But the euro-dollar is one of the possible short situations here. One thing I noticed about this, and I figured it's probably going to set up for a short off of this fib, the first thing I thought of, because the move down really didn't show much strength, and if anything, there's more selling into these areas. You know, smart money selling. Even though it's moving up, the volume increases and the rejections here. So this is like really not looking like accumulation. You see the volume on the sign of strength compared to weakness on Friday. So there was some selling into this up move. Typically, that's going to create the short setup off of this. If it doesn't come down because of that back to support, it's probably going to do it off of here. So then we got to that weakness there. That's about a pip away. So considering broker and spread, this one actually went in fib area. So we got weakness. That was the news. And now these higher prices all through this area are showing increased volume. See, this is not news anymore, right? So as long as we can go up, as long as we see good, healthy, high volume if we start moving. So now, again, if we break here, as soon as we do that, we want to see activity, right? If that's the case, then we can hang around here as long as we want. So as long as we're not moving up and new high ground is bringing low volume, that would tell us that the selling is not really consistent. And they're not in this mode of building up short positions, particularly into higher prices. But right now we see that they are. See the weakness, slightly higher price, high volume. And then higher prices, high volume. These are pulling back as the volume drops, so that's okay. So basically smart money is waiting for the higher prices in order to sell, otherwise they're doing nothing. That's why we expect to see that if they're really building up these positions. But as of now, there's plenty of weaknesses, enough to go short if it sets up right. Basically, a test here, no demand at this spot would be nice. The previous resistance turned support, the 14 EMA. So basically, the cleanest thing it could do, get me in a short setup, would be there, no demand, and entry. And then that happens. No. So we'll see. And higher prices, we know what to see if that happens. So the rest of them are pretty much in good uptrends that I wouldn't want to think about shorting. That would be incorrect. And these breakouts might even be real if they happen here. But that's not typically how I trade. If I was going to chase it here, I would have to see like no weakness. And there is some. So I'm not going to go chasing these uptrends into new high ground. It's not typically how I trade, as most of you know. But trends retrace. So, basic fib stuff, previous resistance turns support. Look for the sign of strength. EJ, you see these are nice trends because the high prices are not showing high volume. This is all into new high ground here. You see the volume dropping off. So we certainly don't have enough weakness to go short. We don't have any sort of, large profit taking on all that buying, all that. So we'll see if we get the reaccumulation. Very straightforward here. New high ground. Look at that low volume. So all that buying, the buying that's in there, it's still in there. They did not take profit. If they reaccumulate, it's very likely going back to the high and trying to break out, and you'll find out what happens there when it gets there. Again, dollar CAD, very bearish because it broke the major support here. It's into new low ground we haven't seen in a long time. What is this? Got to go back to June of last year to see this price area, right? And there's the support. So it could do a break test continuation pattern. It lines up with 50 fib. But it could also just drop because it's we'll see how it goes. I was saying before, if you get no demand stuff down here, it's likely going for another leg. It's not a bad entry. But a sign of weakness here in this price area would be more my usual thing. Good probability. So that's where we are. Does that pretty much line up with what you guys were thinking? We have a bunch of people on the YouTube stream, many of which know my method. We'll see what we get. What I'm hoping doesn't happen is everything just moves up, because the ones that are in uptrends, I'm not going to go chasing them. And then the euro dollar wouldn't give the short setup. So I'm hoping we don't just start going up right now for the next few hours or something. I mean, there's ways into these uptrends, but I'm not going to trade aggressive today. Last week it was a good trade all 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Pretty textbook conservative setups. There's no reason to... I'm not doing anything aggressive here. But we'll see as it develops what we expect here. Need these uptrends to pull back. All right, so I'm just being patient here, see how it all develops. Woke up with a headache. Things allergies, sinus. I'm sure you're interested in my medical condition, right? Other than that, I'm good. Thanks. So we did just see. Oh, let me turn. We did just see. No, okay, it's not new high ground. I was gonna say an up move on lower volume, but it's really okay until we see. Because again, technically, what's going on, and this is just something that the details of this came to me just through logically looking at the chart. Right now, the big money is only interested in higher prices to sell, meaning they're completely inactive unless that's actually happening, which gives you the reason why this pattern is here, this high, right? Again, new high ground, they start selling. This one's slightly new high ground, or it's almost the same, slightly selling, right? New high ground, selling, all this stuff, high volume. It drops on these, right? What happened to the activity? So now, these areas still tend to attract some selling. These pin zones, as I call them, tend to attract some. And then, really they should be hitting, again, new high ground here, right? So that's how we know if we're in proper, whatever you want to call it, distribution, right? Smart money building up short positions. And the principle is that higher prices may attract sellers. If the volume's high and it reacts bearishly, the reaction, then you have to be seeing large selling. Must be. Because if higher prices brought a lot of activity and it moved and it was buying, it should be a big green candle, right? Closing near the high and going into nice big green candle if the volume's high and it's just buying, right? But if you look at the size of these candles, they're not that big, and you see the volume on is just, proportionally just huge. And of course, the closing are on the middle area, which is always nice, large pin areas. So if it came down, there must be selling for price to come down. If the volume's really high, there must be a lot of selling into that up move. For those of you who are still learning, see what happens here, right? New high ground. This could happen like for an hour and then set up, right? It's fine. Patience pays, right? Literally. See, this one went into this zone, right? The pin zone. And I said typically you get some selling. See, this was higher than the previous two. So it's behaving well. Now this, there we go. Active, right? Now anyone who's taking this as a breakout to the upside, which looks like some are doing, I don't know. Good luck with that. Looks like a bad idea. And you can watch the tick activity and see what I'm talking about. The down ticks typically will come after up ticks. It can sit there for a while, but once it ticks up, it's typically going to react and tick down, meaning we won't be sitting in the upper portion of this candle. We keep coming down when it pops up into it, which seems to be the case. So it's good to know exactly what's happening, right? Look at the 1 minute chart and see it in action. See, look, 1 minute chart, right? New high ground starts here. There's the volume. This is higher ground, more volume. And this one actually reversed course here. Lost the progress and closed down after the high prices brought the selling. So it's worth the wait, right? It's probably going to set up and play out. It's a good situation. So again, if you're just joining us, the other pairs are mainly GU, AU, all these are bullish. Now there's a bit of weakness coming in, so hopefully I get a retracement. If they break out to the upside, it's really, like I say, kind of chasing it, and I wouldn't do that unless I want it to be aggressive, which I don't today. So retracement, retracement, retracement. And again, dollar CAD, very bearish. Looking to short maybe in this area, particularly the 50 fib previous support term resistance. So good, clean stuff. Like I was saying, I just hope it doesn't. We got to remember, redraw fibs. If we could hope things just don't go up in a straight line here, because I don't want to chase the uptrends, and the euro dollar won't give a setup, obviously, if that's happening. So, see how it goes. New high ground, plenty of volume. Potential short intact. What's up with the YouTube peoples? Reduce your meat and your allergies will be gone. Really? I don't think I heard of that one. Reduce meat. I had 2 hot dogs yesterday. I eat meat like almost every day. It's of some kind. Chicken, fish. Fish is okay, right? Cheesesteaks, hot dogs, hamburgers. What's up, YouTube people? How many are in there? 16? That's it? I got like 3,000 subscribers. I got 16 people in the webinar. It worked for you? Dairy, yeah. Peter West. 2 White Castle burgers there. Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know. I got to consider which is more important. Better sinuses or hamburgers? It's tough. So if there's anybody in the live stream that has any questions, like you're learning the method, just go for it. Make things interesting today. Give me a good question. What is a pip? And don't ask me when the the volume indicator is coming out. Right now, 4 people are going delete, 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 backspace. Yeah, because I don't know. He said he's slaving. This is I think last week. Maybe he's here today in the session. Mr. Overseer of Indicator. No, he's not here. He must be out there working on it very hard. But what he told me was it's finished and he has to get it up on the server running. And I don't know. That was the last step. Told me that last week. So we'll see. I really want it to. Talking about the multiple broker volumes. It's up to 20, and we can keep adding. So volume feed of 20 brokers combined on the MT4 charts. So that's the biggest picture of the market, the best view as a whole. Since you can't get a view of the whole. But that's the best you'll get on MT4 in existence that I know of. We could keep adding. We could go up to 300 at every broker in existence. So yeah, Eurodollar still hitting the high volume, the high price areas. Very, very clean as far as that. But we see that sitting here. It didn't exactly get squashed down, right? But I think they're just very, very much waiting for higher prices to do anything. They really didn't do much here. If we start to move up, the selling should come in. But it's all there so far. Let's see. See, it pops up and it squashes back down, and then it sits there. It's not sitting up high. There's always that little pin every time I try to move up. That should be all right. Patience, patience. These guys, the uptrend, let's see, they're trying to break out. See this amount of volume here? If it was low, it's not low, it's kind of high, right? If it was low here, new high ground on the trend, it's likely to do another leg up pretty easily. Some would say it's no demand. I would say no, it's not. It's no selling, because that's where you're looking for sellers to show up or not. The demand is already there. We're moving up. We got momentum. That's where we're going. If selling doesn't come in, it's likely to continue. So like the euro dollar example, right? So if we're seeing low volumes and new high prices, then it's typically can't even retrace because there's not enough selling to give you the retracement. So it's likely going to go up in a straight line for a little while until you run into some weakness, right? Makes sense, doesn't it? Makes too much sense. Yeah. It's not even right how much sense it makes. You see, this is not telling me a breakout is safe, right? This is telling me if you want to go long, wait for the retracement in a good area and a sign of strength, right? Definitely some profit taking, some selling on the uptrend. That's a fake breakout pattern too, right? So we just saw a fake breakout pattern with weakness, right? So we're likely going to get here, and then we can find out if they're buying. If they're not, maybe they'll buy here, right? Fake break or double bottom here. So we'll look for that. That's it. Everybody get how to read a chart? Done deal. Pretty simple. Mark up your basic levels. Yeah, these breakouts don't look great though. I wouldn't mess with that. Dollar can break out to the downside maybe. Just had more weakness. I think we may be seeing the down move coming here soon, finally. So, which again, on the uptrends, just means retracement, look for the buy opportunity. But the euro dollar could give the short setup. I think it's coming. "15 minutes from now, we'll be lower. I believe. New high ground, increased volume. Good, healthy volume. Something is telling me it's time. I think anyone who would buy right now would be really just, is there anyone left that would want to buy at this point? It's not a good idea. We've got fake breakout patterns forming now on the bullish pairs. Rejection there. Fake break. I think we're coming down now. Maybe that'll be the high of the day for the euro dollar. YouTube question. Why are you looking to trade against the daily trend? Any pair in particular you're asking about? Well, the euro dollar, I think, is, you could say I'm trading against the trend there, right? If you're calling this an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, all that. But to me, volume leads the way. So there are times when trading against the overall bigger picture trend is fine. The daily trend to me is, it's good to know when there's a strong trend and all that, but the way I look at this, when was the last time it really trended with strong momentum? I'm looking at momentum really on the daily chart. If there's something strong and obvious and a big picture, just screaming trend. And if you really look, it was back here, right? He really had a good run. This is all sideways. This is down. And now we had a very weak move up so far here. But as far as like feeling like I'm going against an upward momentum on a daily chart, not so much the way I look at it. That's the first thing. Like on this day and this day, I wouldn't consider shorting. Again, volume can tell me to do that, but it would be against the daily move, like in a case like that. Or like looking to buy through here. You know, that kind of stuff is against the daily trend. This, not so much to me. It's all been kind of sideways and not strong moves here. So that's the way I look at the daily and use it for that. And just basic levels, and that's it. That's the first thing. The second thing is, again, volume leads the way, and once I get to the 1 hour chart, I really start to see my general background and where the positioning is, and noticing that there's not much buying or accumulation down here, and there's actually signs of weakness into the higher prices, which typically will give you a setup off of here, right? We see smart money selling into up moves. Typically, it'll set up here, give you the short. So the background doesn't show much strength. Like, here's a sign of strength. The volume's not much. Not very high. Right, where's our high volume strength? Maybe this. No. Here's the dip, actually. So you see, there's really no building up of long positions. The high volume, smart money footprints kind of thing is showing weakness. So again, now we get to the potential area to look to short. There's the highest volume of the day. It's not very high, but it's matching the pattern of, you know, where we expect to see weakness. And then the 5 minute, to get a close look at that price area, weakness, 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 weakness all over it, right? And we keep seeing higher prices attracting signs of weakness, high volume. So as long as that's going on, we're in this building up of short positions here. Once we get a proper entry, you know, we look for the short and expect it to come down. There has to be lack of buying, lack of demand, and look to get in. So that's my reasons. Agree or disagree. That's my reasons. Does that all make sense? See, questions are good. It kind of gets me to explain things. Is that all making sense there, Alan? Did I convince you that I'm not crazy? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I think the YouTube stream might have like a 30-second delay, just to mention that. Okay. I guess you can tell by looking at your chart what the delay is. So yeah, if there's any people on YouTube on the stream that are just kind of interested in the method, learning the method, you could, there's a chat, free chat on Skype, just a Skype group chat you could join. There's a lot of people trading the method or similar versions of the method after learning it and kind of making it their own, but it's all basically the same basics. So if you watch my YouTube videos and join that chat, you can get on your way for free and just kind of check things out. Then I also do these live sessions Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and all that. You can, if you're interested in that, this is the website. How does the Skype chat work? Pretty well. No. It's just people talking about, you know, opportunities they may be seeing on the charts. And this and that. It's just typing, you know, there's no camera or microphone or anything like that. So people share charts and talk and whatever. It's good. It's gotten to the point where I want it to be, where people can do that. It's not overly busy and crazy. There's a lot of people in there, though, but it's, you know, people respect it. So it's good. You can ask, you know, questions or, you know, learn with people, share charts. So yeah, if you contact me on Skype, Pete Fader, then I'll add you. Do you prefer commission or low spread or high spread at FXCM? Yeah, either way, it's kind of the same in the end. Get the low spread in commission or you get the higher spread. I think there's not much difference in the end, depending, I guess, how maybe your trade size, but either way, I don't know, you could do the math and see which is better, I guess would be the answer, which I never did. But, yeah, what you see is what you get with FXCM. There's no silliness, so that's what's good about them. But I'm doing the commission thing. Any recommendation between spot forex currency futures, since currency futures are reliable volume? I like the volume in spot forex. I learned on it, but I like looking at activity rather than particularly buying and selling, you know, amounts, you know, the actual that you get with futures. It doesn't really work for me as well. The thing is about futures is, I don't know the exact number, but it's about maybe 30% or something like that of the foreign exchange market. So that's a big piece of information that maybe a lot of people don't know. They think they're looking at the entire market when they're looking at futures. You know, obviously they're not. So it's limited. It's not. That's not all the buying and selling going on when you see, you know, your real volumes supposedly. The spot market is actually the majority. So you have that. And you have the fact that I just like activity, because buying and selling, I'm not worried about the chart having to tell me who, like if it's buying and selling and how much exactly amount wise. It's all about activity increases and decreases, and where it happens price wise and how it happens tells me, the rest of the information as far as if it's buying or selling and all that. But I definitely looked into it and all that. And is there an edge here? I can get actual amount of buyers, actual amount of sellers. I don't have to look at a candle and say, okay, there was large selling. I can get hard numbers. And I realize it's actually more straightforward just to do it off the chart and focus on those high volume points, and know how to read candles or bars and get the information that way. And again, it's a larger portion of the market, particularly if you combine volume feeds, which we're about to do. And I like activity. You add me as a contact. Yeah, it just popped up. Let me get that. I'm looking for an entry here. Nothing yet. Okay, Mr. Mike Bruno, is that you? Well, either way, there's one. Let me add you to the chat right now. Oh, you want me to, Richard, I didn't add you. Okay, so Richard and Mike, let me get you in there. Let me just check the chart, make sure I'm not missing anything. No. Your dollar's still setting up right? It can go as high as a slight overshoot of 618 and still set up right. If it breaks, this 81, 83, it's over. But if we still get weakness here and leads to a setup, the risk reward is really good, and it just keeps showing selling coming in, right? There's your new high ground, high volume, all throughout here. So we're going to beat them, right? They sold throughout here. Or if we can sell high, get our stop in this area, we're slightly smarter than smart money, right? Can we say that? Oh, my chart was frozen. Talking about this stuff here. In the webinar, it was frozen. Okay, let me add you guys. And again, the uptrend breakout on GU, AU is really failing. EJ, that's all not good. Very risky breakout trade. Could be a fake break, come down, and then the euro dollar setup short happens, right? Okay. Oh, there's another one. There you go. I see you there. Okay, so I got 3 people to add to the group chat. Richard. Are you in there already? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Bader? Wait a second. I can't find your name trying to add it. Oh, there you are. Gotcha. This is weird. Okay. Skips. All right, cool. I don't typically look at the group chat while I'm in session, just so you people know. So type directly to me on Skype. Otherwise, I probably won't see it. So directly to me on Skype rather than the group chat. The group chat is just a mix, anybody. It's not just the live session people, obviously. All right, so what do we have? Eurodollar. Good. Weakness. We're waiting. These guys breaking out new high ground on high volume or rejection of resistance on high volume, right? They're all looking to retrace the uptrend. All these guys. Pound yen, euro yen, AU, GU, AJ. All about to come down. So says the chart. But the background is bullish. Well, let's look at the 1 hour volume, right? If it's climactic, which I don't think it is. We still have some time on the 1 hour candle, but we would have to see a lot of selling. Basically, 1 5-minute spike of weakness is not going to tell me to go short against a strong trend, right? There's not a lot of selling throughout here, right? But if you get consistent selling and high volume stuff, the 1 hour can stand out, right? And that candle ends up looking like that, right? On high volume, and that would be a situation where I consider the short. But another way to put it is all this buying throughout here, they're not going to get out on 1 5-minute candle. That just tells us, okay, now we're bearish. Short positions are built up, long positions are out. It all happened in 5 minutes or 1 minute or whatever the spike could end up being down here, like 3 minutes. Typically you get a distribution kind of thing. But again, this does suggest, right, and this is what new high ground on the trend right there, right? So you get your high volume actually kicks in there. But it does suggest some selling, some profit taking, and not the time to chase a trend. Look for buying reaccumulation into the down move. All right, very likely this is the high here of the day, and we'll get the short set up euro dollar. See how patient they are? We have to be like more patient, right? But it's basically computers, right? So you can see how the program is running, right? You can understand it. It's really obvious. Higher prices, you sell. You sell to the point where it moves down, but doesn't make a bearish candle. It doesn't make lower ground. They're not looking to do that. It's high prices, squashed. As soon as you're back, it calms down again. This is all higher prices. Here, right? Slight increase in that little pin zone, but not much. But then there. All this stuff is new high ground. Volume stays high, stays high. But you see how there's no pullback on that. There's no bearish stuff. It's only the higher prices, right? So they're really, really sticking to that. These signs of weakness don't even bring 50% retracements of the swings or anything. This one almost did, kind of. But they're just not selling unless it's going to new high ground. When that switches into markdown activity, right, we're trying to catch that point where it switches over. So that's the two ways in which they enter. Two ways. Pre-positioning and then the markup, markdown. So you see the weakness here, pound dollars. These are all likely to come down, give a retracement entry. Unless, again, you get climactic, really high volume and just selling over time. Then I will sell these uptrends. Happily. You think I'm crazy, doesn't matter. Strong uptrend, doesn't matter. Something like that, this too, the way some of these are really strong trends, typically they'll turn on news. You'll get that climactic volume on a news move, up fake break or something. They'll go out with a bang. Euro dollar. All right, so very close to the entry here. No demand at this point would be very much textbook. And looking to enter here off no demand. Doesn't have to be exactly that pattern, but that would be the cleanest thing. If that sets up, then we know everything's completely textbook. No brainer. High probability. Good point in the pattern here, right? Where basically this whole thing falls apart if we hit 83, 84. That's only 20 pips away. I mean, we're going to be entering a little lower, but, right, knowing that if price gets here, the probability of it going up is higher than it going down if it gets here. So there's no reason to stay in the trade. So look in this area for a stop. Why message removed? I didn't remove a message. Oh. Mr. Chris, what's up? Testing. Your test was successful. What is this? Oh, okay. All right, so potential euro dollar short. We're looking for the test here. All right. The live stream over? It'll be over soon. I appear offline? Oh yeah, I'm appearing offline. You can't see the chat. Okay, I'll add you to the chat. Make sure you're in there. Chris Lake. Who the hell is that guy? Oh my gosh. Somebody changed the picture? How do I change that? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. That's not me, people. The guy in the guy that you're seeing at the yeah, that's not me. Oh my gosh, that guy was trolling. I kicked him out. If somebody knows how to change it, just change it. Just put a chart with some volume bars on it. Oh my gosh. Who is in the picture? I don't know. I think it was the guy that I banned, Muhammad something. He also changed the name to Muhammad Trading Method. Troll. Meanwhile, he's like a regular grown man in a suit. What's he doing? The hell's wrong with this guy? That must be his one suit for that one time for that thing. All right. So the YouTube peoples have some questions. I'm looking for a no demand euro dollar entry. Do you take fundamentals, Margaret? I ignore fundamentals completely. I want to know when there's going to be important things, and I look at what happens on the charts rather than taking my cue or my direction from what fundamentals are suggesting. It can suggest something bullish and maybe initially have an up move on a news release, but if the chart says I'm looking to sell, I'm looking to sell. So I don't follow fundamentals in that way. I just want to know when, you know, things may happen news-wise, but that's it. Do you think smart money sets up their order by limit orders around? Yes, I do. I think it may be sort of a time release on there, though. You know, a little delay. It could be. It's more complex the way I see it on a chart. Maybe this is like hidden information. I'm thinking like if you have like a 618, it hits, you have a certain amount of orders come in immediately. And maybe it'll come down. Maybe it'll hit it, and again, a second round will come in. Right? It could be a little more advanced. This is just from logic putting this stuff together and seeing how the chart moves. It could be that those are just different entities doing the same thing. But when you see multiple signs of weakness in the same price area, a predictable price area too, you tend to think the entities are doing that multiple. So I think it's like you say, limit orders, but it's a little more complex than like our brokers will allow us to do. Imagine we could do that, right? Or do they enter by market orders as they see higher prices around there? As far as, yeah, it could be like, I take that as meaning manually. I don't think it's manual. I think there's somebody at the controls, but they're not manually entering the trades, no. But there's somebody saying, okay, we're in distribution mode, et cetera, et cetera. This is not easily accessed information. This is just what I've deduced. I can't say that I know all this stuff for a fact, but it's pretty logical. That's a good question. I like that one. But yeah, as far as the fundamental things, if I was trading fundamentals, I'd still look at VSA because that just gives you too much factual information. You can't ignore it. But if I was trading fundamentals, it would be like longer term. It'd be volume and the fundamentals agreeing on a direction, and really trading longer term than intraday. Because you could have an uptrend on a weekly chart. The fundamentals are all backing that up, but you can have a few down days which are completely tradable, and so I can go either way, whatever. All right, guys. So I'm going to end the YouTube stream. Good having you guys. It's cool to have some questions. Here's the web. Let me type it in for you guys. That's the website. If you want to join the live sessions or check out the course or whatever. And here's the email just to give you that if you have questions. All right, cool, guys. Do a YouTube stream again. I do it every now and then. If you sign up if you go to the box, if you go to the website, myeffectsource.com, you go to the box on the right that says subscribe and put your email, and you'll never get spam. It's just me. And you'll get an email notification when I do live stream. So you got live streams, you got video, you got chat. That's all free. The YouTube videos. And you can be on your way and learning things, seeing that it works. And then if you're into that sort of thing, there's additional materials on the website. All right, guys. Take care, YouTube people. See you soon.